speaker is someone that has a really special place in my heart. Her name is Hilary. She's one of our Miss Imagine Talks title holders, and she raised, in I think the span of just 2 months, over $25,000 just on her own. In fact, $10,000 of that was just within 7 days, which is incredible. So she's actually one of the reasons why we're able to have such events like this, because she helps with a lot of other Miss Imagine Talk speakers fund. And I think, and you know what? This is Hilary right here, right
Hilary.
now. And before we jump in there, let's watch a quick, thank you. Let us watch a quick little video of Hilary's story.
I'm honored to stand in front of you as Miss Asian Entrepreneurial and Miss Imagine Talk 2023 in the Miss Asian Global Pageant. I fundraised $25,000, being the third highest amount in the 38 years of MAC's history. I'm glad that the donations could continue to support the work of the Asian America Foundation. Being a first-generation immigrant, my background of being born and raised in Hong Kong allowed me to be the bridge of the community. I served the community in events such as Richmond District Moon Festival, the annual Winter Wonderland, and Italian Heritage Parade. It is my honor to continue with my duty as a court member of the Miss Asian Global Pageant. Now working as a technology banker in one of the biggest banks in the United States, I strive to use my profession to empower the next generation of Asian leaders and improve global sustainability.
Hilary? Hilary, you're one of the most networked delegates I've ever had a chance to work with. It's like you know everybody and everyone, which makes a lot of sense considering that you're able to fundraise so efficiently. But what I was very surprised to find out when I was getting to know you and work with you was that networking was not one of your initial strengths. In fact, the opposite was your strength, like not asking for help, not connecting, just basically not even being part of the community. Where did this all start from?
Well, first a little bit about myself was that I was actually born and raised in Hong Kong. And let me give you a little bit of an introduction of the Hong Kong educational system. So basically, they care a lot about ranking. And the ranking are based on your grades and also how likable you are in your teacher's eyes. And they definitely expect you to be obedient, agreeable, and follow all the instructions. But unfortunately, I wasn't like that growing up. My parents are here, you can ask them. I was very vocal, I talked back a lot, I won't back down. And the consequence of that was that I was being placed in E class. And that's really bad, you have to know that. It's like a class lower than D, which stands for disgrace to your family already. So imagine if Amy, the tiger mom, was my mom, she would probably have disowned me. But yeah, I'm still here. And anyway, so I was in E class, and my parents were not happy, I wasn't happy, so I really wanted to work my way up back to an A class just to have a better chance of a more promising future. So what happened was that I did a bunch of extracurricular activities, I studied a lot, and I also reached out to my teachers for some after-school tutorial. But the thing is, the Asian teachers, they're definitely not afraid of showing their favoritism, and A-class students just have more availability, more resources, and they're more patient with them. But asking for help as an E-class student is not that desirable, and they might not just want to do it, so it tend to get rejected and tend to get ignored a lot. So what happened was that I still put myself together, and I studied really hard, and I worked myself way back to A class, but it also trained me to become more independent, more self-sufficient, but also it deters me away from asking for help because I just don't want to be rejected anymore. And yeah, that was how I started.
So initially, you grew up in an environment where respect and honor and faith was a big deal, and you gave them none of that as a student. And since you didn't listen, the only way they could punish you was to make you basically a ridicule of your peers, right? And to the point where even when you wanted to work your way back up, you were now seen in a position where you weren't even worth helping. And
Yeah.
also ridicule for even asking for help, because why would we bother, right? And which just basically planting your seed, ask for help equals shame, equals ridicule, equals punishment. Now that carried all the way from childhood into your young adulthood, right? You did a lot of things on your own.
Yeah.
You actually moved out here on your own. You learned how to work very independently, built your own career, and everything seemed fine. But something happened again. Why did you want to all of a sudden do a pageant?
Yes. So what happened was that I moved here in America at the age of 18, and when I was in college, I went to UC Davis for a sociology degree, and then I saw how the American students, they're not afraid of asking for help, and there's no such thing as the stupid questions. So it was highly encouraged for them to be asking for help and be vulnerable. But that got me thinking, oh, if I want to ask for help as well, and how should I do it? But what changed was that I actually pivoted my career into finance. And then finance, the industry itself is known for being cutthroat, known for being competitive, and people are more self-invested. But that just made me fall back into my old habit. And then what changed, again, was that I heard about Miss Asian Global, and that was such a life-changing experience. And yeah, basically this was one of my outfits from Miss Asian Global.
So tell me about this outfit, because this is part of our pageant where it's your cultural attire, right?
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is that you maybe have a little background, but not that much experience in costume design. And you were able to do a lot of things on your own up until you weren't, right? And you realize there's no way I can go on stage with the skills I have right now, making costume I want. What made you go to the point where you're like, I have to ask for help?
Yes. So coming from Hong Kong, I really want to be able to represent my heritage on stage, and I wouldn't be who I am without this city. So I really want that to be part of my special night. And so I have this vision of wearing this giant flower from the Hong Kong flag and also holding up this Aqua Luna boat. But I also quit arts and design craft in 9th grade, so I have this vision, but I just didn't know how to execute it. So what happened was that I shared my struggle with my pageant sisters, and what they did was that they just referred me to one of the most amazing crafters in town. Her name is Lizo Fernando, and she was supposed to be here, but she's our Miss Talent 2016 in the MAC community. And she's also into cosplay and all that, so she gave me a lot of suggestions, but she also told me that you should probably change your design. It's too complex, man, you cannot do it. So I was a little bit desperate, but I also told her that it means a lot for me to be able to represent my heritage on stage. This is where I came from, and I think that would also serve as a great reminder to the people in the audience. So I decided to give her a second call after a few days to try to ask, oh, have you changed your mind? Like, could you help me? And it actually worked. I conveyed the importance of getting that kind of help and resources from her. And she did some research on her own, and what she did was she actually drove 2 hours just to come to my apartment to pick up the flower and took it to the finish line. So that was a really amazing experience, and what I learned from that is that you should reach out to the expert whenever you need some help and convey the importance of the help and then what it means to you, and that will increase your chances of getting a yes from them.
Wow, so that also shows you that instead of trying to power through and only do what you could do on your own limited skills, asking for an expert, and even the fact you were at a point where even rejection wasn't that bad anymore. You just have to try to make the decision happen.
Yes.
Right? And you did. Now, as you were building up your network and you get to the point where you weren't afraid to ask for help, that also gave you a huge boost in becoming one of probably our 3rd largest fundraiser in history. How did that help you?
So basically the reason that I was able to become one of the 3rd highest amount of fundraiser for MAC was that I attended this picnic like that MAC and the Silicon Valley Lions Club hosted around June, July. And the situation back then was that I have only 1 week from the fundraising deadline, and I have always known that I want to serve the community as Miss Asian Entrepreneurial. I just didn't know how. So what happened was that I was texting people and keep asking for donation at the picnic, and I didn't even look at anyone. But what happened was that I heard two men speaking, like they were just talking business in Cantonese, and they just have this feeling of familiarity. And in the spirit of entrepreneurship, I walked up to them, I introduced myself to them, and it turns out they are they are two very well-respected community members in the Asian community of the Bay Area. And they also started their own business in America, and then they were also immigrants from Hong Kong. So I felt really comfortable sharing my struggle of fundraising with them about how oh my God, like there were so many rejection, what should I do? And basically what they told me was that their biggest supporter back then when they started their own business were their family members. So I came from a very big and traditional family. I didn't want to share that I was in a pageant with them because there were just a lot of presumptions about being a pageant and how you're getting judged out there and oh my God, you're wearing a bikini in front of thousands of people. That's, yeah, disgrace to family again. But anyway, so I didn't want to announce it loud. However, it was just on my head. When I wrote out a bunch of personalized message to my family members, they were really supportive. Like they were from Hong Kong, they were in Canada, they were in the UK, but they just really want to see me shine. They really want me to become this better version of myself, a better person. So at that 1 week, I was able to raise extra $10,000, and that just brought me my fundraising amount to $25,000. And yeah, again, being the third highest in the 38 years of the MAC history. And yeah, that is one of the proudest achievements in my life, and I wouldn't be able to do it without the members of the Silicon Valley Lions Club. And there goes another lesson for me about asking for help is that step out of your comfort zone, and the more people that you meet, and there would be higher chance for you to channel yourself to the right kind of help that you need.
Right, and also the fact that you were able to right away listen for common ground, right? Mm-hmm. Like the fact that they spoke Cantonese.
Yes.
That was really cool. Very smart of you to do that.
Send your kids to language school.
Yes, embrace your culture. Okay. So, and then there's yet another lesson of ask for help that you learned, and that was essentially during pageant week.
Yes.
So what was that? Oh, slide.
Well, honestly, that was one of the most stressful weeks that I've had in my life. And this picture was taken on the Thursday of that pageant week, which the pageant night was Saturday, 2 days before pageant night. What was gonna happen that day was that we had this really heartwarming bonding moment in the morning where we're exchanging gifts and then wishing each other luck, and then we're going to have our pageant interview. In the afternoon, and that's like one of the biggest segments from our beauty pageant, which takes like 20% of our score. But I got a little bit emotional in the morning because we were like hugging, and it was a long journey, and I know that I would cherish this experience forever. So I was just crying a lot, and I was super emotional. And then I was struggling to put on makeup, and I was just crying, and then eventually, the girls that I shared the same room with during the pageant week, their name is Marissa, Sophia, and Vanessa, they saw my struggle. And then they sat me down, they gave me a hug, and they told me that I look beautiful. The next thing you know, they were doing my hair, putting lashes on me, and doing my makeup for me. And I walk in there being super confident and gave the best interview of my life, looking like this. So shout out to them.
So what you learned from that was that sometimes the biggest help can actually come from what you perceive as your competitors.
Definitely.
How did that like change your perspective from that point of view? What help came from? Where help could come from?
Of course. So we're like being in a pageant. Obviously, it's a competition, and there will be a certain level of competitiveness in that area. But what it means that like your competitors also are going through the same things with you. They know your struggle. They know that you are not doing too well sometimes, but they also know what's the best kind of support they could provide to you. So sometimes your own perceived competitions it's just all in your head. Like it is possible for you to get help from your competitors. But also I want to state this is the beauty of being a beauty pageant as well. Because you're being surrounded by a group of aspiring women who wants to become a better version of themselves, and they want to develop themselves, become a very kind and generous and also confident person. And what I also learned is that the kindest and the most successful people are the ones who are the most generous about offering help and also helping other people, and they're not afraid of being vulnerable. So this pageant actually changed my life, and I'm so grateful for that.
What are some ways that you would give people or some advice to people on how to really increase their network in a very efficient way, and what is the most powerful way to ask for help and also to help others?
Yes, definitely. So I would say that the first step would definitely be okay to accept your flaws and your insecurities, and also be okay with yourself being vulnerable. Because you can put on a perfect face and then everyone just expects that, oh, you have your stuff together, you're good, I don't need to help you. But being able to open about your vulnerability and your struggles, people can actually see through that. And at some moment, they could actually resonate with that as well. So being able to open up about yourself, and also being able to just channel and be able to identify the help that you need actually goes a long way, because you know what you're looking for. And you would also know that what kind of help is the most suitable to your need. So I think being able to identify that, and then also being able to speak up and just be able to have that kind of conversation with people, which it means that you're able to convey the importance and the meaning of that kind of help, actually would increase your chances of getting yes as well. And second, just go out there, meet more people. You guys are young, like you're your own communities, and you would definitely meet the right people that you could vibe with, you could match with, have the same energy with, and they will also have a better understanding of the things that you're going through and be able to channel you to the right direction and channel you to the right help that you need. And last but not least, just don't hate your competitors. Give them a chance. It's just so happen that you guys are in the same competitions, but it doesn't mean that they want you to fail. They want to make the best performance for themselves, but they also want you to do good. So yeah, give them a chance, and also be able to convey the meaning of your help and all that. That would definitely increase your chances of getting a yes when you ask for help.
What's down the road now for Hilary in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yes, so my parents are here, so I'm gonna announce it to them. Since I got the title of Miss Asian Entrepreneurial, I think it looks really cool on a resume, and I want to go to the Stanford Graduate School of Business, where I want to combine my profession of being a technology banker now, and also what I learned from this math community, from the pageant experience. And something that I've always wanted to do is that I'm a big person in traveling, and I love traveling around the world. But what happened to me was that, okay, I go to this historical building, I see this historical status, but okay, what is it, statue, but yeah, I just don't know what it means, and okay, why is this so meaningful? Why is people lining up for it? So what I want to do is that something in the future, I want to be able to just take a picture of the historical building, and then it would just automatically pop up accurate information of the story behind that historical figure or historical building. And so we can actually learn more about that place, learn more about the culture of the places that we're visiting. And that would enhance your experience and also enhance yourself intellectually. So that's my plan, and I really wish that it would come true.
I have no doubt that it will, and I think that's a great announcement for you to share with your parents. I thought it was, oh my God, what's going to say?
Nothing crazy.
No, not. All right, well, that's all the time we have. But Hilary, thank you so much for being such a wonderful person.